Apple News.
Mhm.
I can't remember the news outlet that was commenting about this, but they were commenting about the furloughs that have occurred at the national the NIH, national what is it, National Institute of Health, right?
Mhm.
Um, it's specifically about the CDC, but it's broad based across the health network. In
Mhm.
that there's the layoffs have come, and their fear is that there's not enough people to answer the calls, let alone handle the litigation, let alone handle the complexity of explaining and providing assistance from at the federal level. Do you know anything about that? Can you share some light on what's going on and
Sure. I mean,
inform our
some of this is
audience?
some of this is anecdotal, but to your point, NIH, the CDC, the agency that oversees us, HRSA, the Services Administration, they've lost, I believe, 40% of their workforce throughout the different RIFs and furloughs and things of that nature. So, they still have the essential workers. They've assured us that the folks are still at their desk answering the phones what they can. I do know that, expectations of a quicker response, probably not exactly reasonable or expected at this point. Even with the government shutdown, we've been assured that community health centers have enough funding in the bank on reserves through the end of this calendar year. So, when the government shut in, we've seen these government shutdowns several times over the last couple of years. So when the shutdown was scheduled and anticipated and actually kicked off, there's not a tremendous amount of panic per se in the community health centers. Again, we've seen this. We've been assured that we've got a couple of months. Should this go into November, you're going to start seeing a lot of scenario planning, probably a lot of planning, as maybe even I guess aggregation of a lot of services and consideration about what might be available going forward and what cuts might have to be decided. And at the same time, some of our state partners, right, the departments of health and things of that nature, they've seen some of their grants either suspended or canceled. So while our direct funding remains intact for a short period of time, some of our partners, some of their funding, and so some of that we're suffered grantees. And so I've talked to a couple of health centers here in Florida that said, well, the state contract was canceled, so I can't do that work anymore. And we're in this job because we've addressed or identified and addressing those community needs. And so these are things that are starting to kind of resonate closer to home. Initially our funding was okay. Now we're seeing others around us